welcome back to the cosplay madness that is my channel. I know people are going to ask, so my wig is a Derek by Arta Wigs in Pumpkin, and my ears are the Nomad style from Aradani Studios. They aren't even glued onto my ears. Ugh. I recently finished kind of reorganizing and redecorating my craft area, and I kind of wanted to give you a tour because I'm super happy with how it turned out. It's super functional and really fun, and I thought it might be cool if any of you needed ideas to reorganize a craft area, because they're always a mess, and I think you know that if you're a cosplayer. So I don't even have a full room for my cosplay supplies. I have the back corner of my basement family room, so I had to be really conscious of the space I had and how I was going to make all of my supplies and costumes and fabric, how I was going to make it all fit and, be organized. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so here is the craft area, and I guess we'll just start from here and move forward. So the first thing you can clearly see is my iron and my ironing board, and this is just a piece of chiffon, and you can lay it over more delicate fabrics while you're ironing just to protect them. And this is kind of the crowning jewel of my craft area. This, of course, is my garment rack. It was actually made by my grandpa, and so it's super sturdy, really nice. I love it. I actually had a garment rack I bought from Amazon, and I used to use that. It was a lot smaller, and it broke because costumes are super heavy. So I actually squished all of my costumes over to one side so I could fit all of the stuff over here. We'll start with my dress form. My dress form is named Ichabod because it is a bod and it doesn't have a head, and I am a comedy genius. Ha! Moving along, these are I believe they're the Kallax shelves from IKEA. They're just little squares, and I put these cloth boxes in them. This is actually an idea I got from Kamui Cosplay, if you watch her kind of craft room tour. So what she did was she cut swatches off all the fabric and just tied them. I just tied them onto the handles, and so I know what's in there. So in this box I have things like brocades, faux furs, and faux leathers, just kind of like fancy fabrics. I have a lot of faux leather because it's always useful to have. This bottom one has mostly mock-up fabric. I am actually really bad at knowing how much fabric I need to get for a project, and usually I end up with too much. So this is just where all of that extra stuff goes, and then I use it for mock-ups. These two are stretch fabrics. This has mostly larger pieces of stretch fabric, while this one has kind of smaller, maybe more scrap-sized pieces. And this one is fancy fabrics like some sequin things and gold and lace. Just much fancier stuff lives in this box. In this box, it has it's kind of a graveyard. That's where some unfinished costumes live right now. I have a lot I have started and have not finished. In this one's exciting. This is where all of my armor pieces live. So here you can see some Wonder Woman, my Automail lives in there. Here are my Carrie Kelly goggles, a random styrofoam ball I'm planning on using very soon. And this one is just like things like ribbon and batting and lace and trims. Oh no, well now would be a good time to introduce the wings, I suppose. These are my newly redecorated Tinkerbell wings. I put in more glitters and then covered them in vinyl, and so they're super nice and pretty, and they're huge, and so they live up here. Moving away from my garment rack and everything that lives underneath it, I have this super handy little fold-out table. I put my computer on it when I'm working on things, or I put my streaming camera on it before. It's just so handy to have just a little extra table around. Plus it has this super cute floral pattern. I love it. Just folds up and goes right against the wall. I also have a little mirror right here, so it's super handy for, looking at myself. I'm wearing jeans. Look, I'm not fully dedicated to the costume. So I work in a forest. I make my costumes in a forest. I live in an old house from the 80s, and I work in a forest. Alright, moving on to my sewing table. First of all, this is my sewing machine. It's a Brother Project Runway limited edition. Oh, so fancy. I do really like this sewing machine, and it comes with this huge table, which is super handy for making clothing. And this is my serger. You definitely don't have to have a serger if you are a cosplayer, but I really like mine because it's super fast and super fun to use. I love it. It is an Imagine baby lock, and I love it. Good serger. Sergers make little fabric noodles, and so this is kind of where I discard the fabric noodles, and I actually need to throw these out soon because it's getting full. This is my thread rack. I just got it off of Amazon. It was super cheap, and I like it because I can display a lot of my thread and it's super fast to grab. I also made a place for bobbins, and it's great because 2 bobbins fit on 1 peg. I keep all these sewing clips in a little clay pot. These are great. I love them. And then I also have my pins on just a magnetic pin cushion. I guess it's not really a cushion. Behind all of the machines, I have all of my scissors and my rotary cutter on just this magnetic strip. You can get these from IKEA, and I just taped it on because I couldn't be bothered to drill anything onto there. These shelves are also the Kallax shelves from IKEA, but I just flipped them on their side and put them on top of the table. Here I just have a big old jar of buttons, and up above that is all of my wig styling stuff. So I keep all my hairspray, my tacky glue, got to be spray. In here is where I keep my scissors and my texturizing razor. This is wig caps and then washable markers for some reason. And in here are things like these really wide pins, some alligator clips, more combs, a toothbrush. This is really handy for smoothing out hairs. And next to that, these are just some gloves I wear if I'm working with hot things like hot glue and Worbla. I don't always wear them. And inside of this little box is where I keep all of my acrylic paints. And I have a tape dispenser with no tape on it and a stapler. Below that are these 2 red bins. They don't have anything in them yet, but I'm sure I'll think of something to put in there. I have a lot of stuff. Up here is my streaming camera and some tissues, and I have more of these cloth boxes. In this box, I have current projects, so you can see some of the silver cord in there. This is where Victor is right now. Below that, I keep all of my wigs in here. And next to that, I have just this jewelry hanger. It's supposed to be for necklaces, but something fell off. But I hang whatever I'm working on just right on that. So this is a mock-up for Victor's jacket. On top of the shelves, I have my Pirate Makoto hat. Here's my wood nymph headpiece that I love. And I also have 3 wig heads, so I have Tinkerbell, Ladybug, and Victor. And a gooseneck lamp, which is super handy for when I'm sewing. Now down here is fun. This is where I keep the things like Worbla. I have my big old roll of vinyl. My mom put these in here. I don't know what they're for. And also this I keep around, not sure why, I don't know whatever I'm going to use it for, but it's like a metal curtain that's on like a fireplace, so I don't know, use that for something I guess. We move all the vinyl. I also have a roll of craft foam. I have this giant lamp that I love, brings so much light. And up here, you may remember, is my little friend Lima Bean. I got him at FanX or Salt Lake Comic Con, I can't remember, but I love him. So this is my giant metal desk, and I don't keep anything on top of it because it's nice to have a work area for cutting out fabric or working with Worbla or whatever. First of all, it has a pull-out workspace. Oh look, a magnet. So you have more space to work on. It's so great. So this top drawer has all of like my sewing notions in it. So in here I have all my cones of thread for my serger. This is elastic and some whatever these are called, snaps. In here are my needles. This is measuring tapes. I know some of these are labeled. The labels are not entirely accurate. Here are some zippers and then a couple of other closures. These are pins, and then I also have things like safety pins in here. This is stuff like Stitch Witch, and this is Velcro. And if we take a look near the back, this is 3-inch black elastic. I love this stuff, love it, love it, love it. Here is some piping and bias tape, and these are bra cups for, you know, stuff. And then this is just some kind of canvasy cord. I don't know. This is a 26-foot zipper. Don't ask me why I have this. I just do. It's literally 26 feet long. It's amazing. Probably never gonna use it, but it's fun to have. Next drawer down is all of my Worbla stuff. So in here, I have my heat gun, I have a wooden rolling pin, I have some of these giant clamps. I also have some protective eye goggles, and I keep my tin snips in here because these are the best for cutting Worbla. And my desk has these little metal dividers, and this is where I have some sandpaper and then all of my Worbla scraps. So I have some original Worbla and black Worbla in here. This is something I attempted to use to shape chest armor, but that has not worked out so well for me yet. But we keep hoping, right? And in this bottom drawer is kind of just random stuff, I guess. I have some tape. I have this face mold, which is fun. I also have all of my Mod Podge, some modeling clay, and fusible interfacing. Now we have this center drawer, and this is where I keep things like paintbrushes. I have some jewelry pliers. I have a lighter and rulers, pens. I have this heart-shaped thing. Don't know what I'm gonna use it for, but it opens. It's like an Easter egg, so I'm sure it'll be useful someday. I have some painting palettes. These are just the cheapy ones you get at Michael's. Here, these are really useful for armor. This is just a big old pack of magnets I got from Amazon. Last two drawers, it has another one of these, so it's super handy. This one is covered in hot glue. I need to clean it. Ooh. These are kind of things like embellishments and punches and just kind of random stuff. So over here is where I keep all the hot glue things. Since this desk is metal, it's awesome because I can put hot things back into it and I don't have to worry about, you know, burning down my house. There's a slab of marble tile. If I need to kind of take my glue gun somewhere, I have a place to set it. These are some pattern scissors. Little look and accurate label. Have fun. This is old jewelry that I don't wear anymore, but I keep it around just in case I need to use it because cosplayers are hoarders. And here is like some cool vials. They have soap scents in them. I believe they're soap scents. But if I ever need to use these for a cosplay, they would look so cool. Also, underneath this, I have some rivets. Yay! Here I have some fake grapes that I used on my headpiece. And these are things like closures. This is just a big old bag of jump rings. So next to that, these are some cool screw-on spikes and then some crystals. Behind that is where I keep a lot of my glue. So I have wood glue, I have some liquid stitch, some caulking silicone, and E6000. I also have wire back here, a bit of super glue. And then behind that is just kind of no man's land. I have candle wicks and scissor sharpener. Saying goodbye to that drawer. And this is the drawer where I keep all of my patterns. And if you look in the back, this is where I actually keep my Zuko armor because it's really big. Mostly the breastplate is really big and doesn't really have a spot. I used this for a wig once, and now I have it. So patterns that are still in their original envelope just kind of live right here. If patterns are on sale, I tend to buy them, especially these cosplay patterns, because they are expensive. So if you can get a sale where they're like $1.99, totally get a bunch of them because you never know if they're gonna come in handy. I have a big notebook in here. This is an idea I got from another cosplayer off the internet. I wish I could remember their name. If I can find it, I'll put an annotation on the screen. But this is where I kind of keep all of my like self-made patterns. So this is my Aqua Woman armor. This is my automail pattern. I still get comments asking for my automail pattern, but you gotta make your own because my arm is not the same size as your arm. Here is some stuff for Zuko, and they're all separated by these clear plastic dividers, and it's great, it works out. Gets a little fat though, so I might need to get more binders in the future. And I also have my serger and sewing machine manuals in here. Of course, a garbage can, woo! And I think that's it. I think that's all the stuff in my stash. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got some ideas for your own craft area.